Hey guys, what's up? This is Cade. I am the founder of Brewster Consulting Group. I am going to attempt to give you everything that you need to know about process mapping in 5 minutes. I just tried this a minute ago and my first take was 17 minutes, so I epically failed. So I'm going to try to cut this down to just the meat of what you really need to know about process mapping so that you, if you've never done process mapping before, could begin process mapping after you watch this 5-minute video. So wish me luck. Let's get started. First thing you need to know about process mapping is the two applications that you can use. Now there's two applications that I would recommend you use. One of them, the first one is Microsoft Visio. If you work for a business that is an Office 365 shop, there's a good chance that they have Visio already and you can get your admin to allocate you a license. Or you can purchase one if you're a small business owner and you're on Microsoft Admin. Now it's a little bit pricey. I think it's $500 or $600. It's well worth it if you actually use it. But if you don't have Visio, there is a alternative option. The alternative to Visio that works really effectively is LucidChart. So you can go to lucid.app. And you'll be able to find that. LucidChart has a lot of different templates. One of those is process maps. It's really effective at using for process maps as well. I think it's like $10 a month. You can get Lucid Spark with it, I think, for $20 a month. And they have a lot of templates that are really helpful, especially if you're a small business, smaller organization. Highly recommend using Lucid app if you don't already have Visio. Now, Lucid app has a business process flow template. That's the one that you're going to use if you are using Lucid app. And if you are using Visio, they have a cross-functional flow chart. I'll just open a new one so that I can demonstrate it for you. But there's a cross-functional flow chart option right here. So you're going to open that up. So I am going to use Visio to show you guys the information. But the same thing is true in Lucid app. It has the same types of icons. It works the same way. You can see the swim lanes. You can see the icons that you use. They're all over here on the side. The swim lanes are called containers in Lucid. The flowchart shapes are right here. The arrow is right here. So you'll be able to use all of these, and there's a nice little helpful tip options in Lucid. But whatever you're doing in, whether it's Lucid or Visio, you're going to use the same shapes to build this. So a couple quick things. Cross-functional flowchart. Cross-functional means it happens across functions, right? That's fairly self-explanatory. Your functions can be different business lines or different divisions within a department. It can be different individuals, or if you're doing something highly technical, it can be different systems so that you can trace how something is flowing and process is flowing across systems. The most common thing though, would be like division A. So this would be like a division. So if I was going to use a fictional bank as the example, this might be mortgage servicing, and then we might have a fictional example of mortgage loan origination, which I actually want on top in this fictional example. So I am going to change this to mortgage origination, and then I'm going to change this to mortgage servicing, right? And then we're just going to use this as an example, right? And so in this simple example, I'm going to do a super high level mortgage loan flow just to demonstrate how it works. So mortgage servicing, mortgage loan origination, you're also going to have accounting and finance. You're going to have post-closing, closing, and doc prep. And you're going to have a couple other things, right? And so when you go to basic flowchart shapes, you're going to see these shapes right here. There are three basic shapes that you want to use. This one, this oval, this diamond, and this box right here. So oval, this starts and stops a process. So you use this to begin a new process map, and you use it to end the process. The box, just the square, this is how you're going to track the basic steps that are being taken, right? So something happens, you put it in the box. And the diamond is used to make a decision point, right? So in a mortgage loan origination example, if you're underwriting the loan either gets approved or it doesn't, right? And you do different things depending on if the loan is approved or if it's not. So you would designate that split in the process by using a decision point that says something like, is loan approved? And then you would have a branching yes and a branching no, right? And so we're going to do something like this. So it's going to start like this, loan application. And then it's going to flow to processing, collects documents. You can use this connector up here to draw a line in between and actually connect. And then if you click back on pointer out here, you can actually use this to make the next one. And that would be underwrites loan. This is a very simplified version of the process. And now our decision point is going to come in, and we're going to do is loan approved, right? And if the loan is not approved, then it actually wouldn't be over. There would be other steps to take in the real world, but for the sake of this example, we're going to say loan declined is the close of the process. One thing that I like to do sometimes is I'll actually highlight the end of a process in red, and I'll highlight the beginning in green. And that really helps your end users, right? The functional purpose of a process map is to help people better understand how a process happens so you can improve it. It's a really critical thing to do if you want to properly understand your operations, whether you're a large business or a small business. So I like to make things that are going to help the end users use it more effectively from a functional perspective. If you highlight the start green and if you highlight the end red, it really makes kind of a natural flow that shows where it goes, right? And so this would be a no branch. Loan is declined. So you're probably looking at this saying, okay, but what are these other swim lanes down here for? Well, if the loan is approved, then it's going to go to, for the sake of this conversation, all the way down here to post-closing and doc prep, and they are going to prep closing documents. And then again, this isn't actually perfectly how it would go, but for the sake of this argument, we're going to say, and then they're going to close the loan. And then from there, it's going to flow to accounting and finance, who is going to fund the loan. And then from there, it's going to, the final step is to be onboarded into the mortgage servicing department. And that's the end. And so now, because this is the end, I'm going to go back to my pointer up here. I'm going to highlight this red as well to make it match. Now I've got a little process that shows who does what. It shows the mortgage process. This is at a super high level. I'll do another video where I talk about process map levels and things like that. But honestly, if you want to learn how to process map, whether it's in Lucid or Visio, use the oval, the square, and the diamond as your three icons. Use cross-functional swim lanes to represent different groups, entities, and or systems, and then just map out what happens. Talk to people, figure out what they actually do, and map it. The best thing you can do is a concept that is used in Six Sigma called Gemba, a Gemba walk. That means to go to the place. I think the right translation is to go to the place or something, but it basically means in person, if you can be in person. That's the best way to do it, but in our remote world now, if you got to do it over the phone, that's perfectly fine. Talk to people, understand what they do, and map it out like this. But as you can see, this is super simple, but if you have no idea how your process actually happens, or you don't understand it in a diagram level representation like this, you're going to have difficulty driving improvement. You're going to have difficulty defining the right metrics and understanding how you should be measuring success on things that you're doing. Step A, if you want to drive improvement, I always tell for a business is to learn how to process map and process map. Process mapping is like a super easy thing to do that impresses people, right? It's a skill that impresses people, even though it's really, really simple. So if you can learn it, it'll be really useful for you both in your business and as potentially an employee. Now, one final thing I'm going to do, you can see these squiggly lines right here. Like that doesn't look good. I want things evenly distributed and aligned. So if I'm in a row, you can also do this vertically. I can highlight all of these and I can go position and distribute horizontally. And now it's going to evenly space all of those out. Same thing here. If I'm in vertical, I can say align center. And then I can do the same thing here and I can go align center. And now my process map is evenly spaced. The lines are all clean. I needed to highlight this red. I forgot to do that. But now we've got this nice little clean process map that, shows a somewhat fictional high-level mortgage process. But you get the idea, right? I don't think this was 5 minutes. I think I epically failed again, but hopefully this is at least a shorter and better take that will help you guys learn the fundamental basics about process mapping and why it's important.